Thanks so much for joining this the stream today. Um, so today what we're going to talk about is how to write an editor letter. So when you first submit your paper to a journal, and I think these are really important because it's basically the difference in online dating between liking a profile and bothering to read it and write a nice message based on the information that people share on their profile. It's just completely different. You know that you show that you've engaged with the journal, but you're also, I think, reducing or increasing your opportunities or reducing the danger of a desk reject, because you're sort of telling the editor, look, this let me show you how this is a good fit for your journal. So what I've done today is I'm going to post this video on my website, and below the video there will be an example of a letter that I sent to the Journal of Information Technology with a paper that got a revise and resubmit decision. And pretty happy with this one, working with two very nice co-authors, and it is a theory piece, so a little bit more difficult to publish and write. And JIT is a pretty good journal, so pretty happy with it. So let me just switch to the letter, and I'll discuss with you the sections on each part of the letter. Okay, so let's go. There we go. Okay, so here's the post, and basically the video of today's stream will be here, the YouTube video. And so here's what I do for the letter. Obviously, dear editor, and then I begin by saying the title of the paper, and saying that I'm submitting for consideration for publication in Journal of Information Technology. Okay, fine. Then I basically have a very short paragraph with the punchline of the paper. You need to show that you care, right? I mean, the editor is going to work on your paper for free. The reviewers are going to work on your paper for free. The least you can do is, show, okay, I'm also doing a little bit of work for the review process. And what I'm doing is I'm giving you the punchline of the paper. This is not the abstract. This is not the summary of the abstract. It's the punchline of the paper. So basically, in this paragraph, which you can read at your leisure later, what I'm saying is that there are contradictory results, and basically here's the explanation of these contradictory results. Okay, and that's the contribution of the paper. Feel free to ask questions in chat right now if you have them, or on the YouTube comments, or even on comments to this post on the website. And obviously, you can always reach me on Twitter. That's it. Okay. Then I also always like to this may sound a little bit naive, but I always want to bring some energy into my letter, and so I like to use words like that I'm excited to submit the paper. Okay. And this actually there's a typo. There are two reasons that I put three reasons. Sorry about that. But okay, so two reasons. Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying, I'm saying, okay, I'm excited to submit this paper to the journal, and basically there are two reasons. The first one is that you want to show that the journal has published similar papers. Okay, and this paper is sort of like a take on a literature review that I called an analytical literature review, that comes from analytical ethnography. That's where I got inspiration for the name of the method. And I just want to say, okay, so this is not the first time you're publishing a paper like this. You have published previous papers similar to mine, okay? And I always try to flatter the papers, so saying, these are compelling papers, just to say, okay, so if these other papers are compelling, maybe my paper is also compelling. And I don't just put the references, I also put the titles, so that the editor doesn't have to do all the work and go and look up the papers, so it's here. So they say, okay, so we've published stuff like this in the past. This is just one more of these types of papers that we have published in the past. The second thing that I do is I link my paper, sorry about that, I link my paper to conversations that the journal is having, okay? And so the idea, the challenge here is to get a bunch of papers that the journal has published that, are all related to what you're trying to say on your paper and are all related to one another. So the way that I do this is I just use some keywords. For example, my paper is on control, so I go through the journal's website, not through Google Scholar. I go to the journal's website and I look for keywords related to control. So, surveillance, for example, is one of them. Also, this is a paper on controlling remote work, so I'll go for I'll do a search on keywords such as telework and virtual teams and so on. Okay, and so I came up with this series of papers, right? So basically saying, okay, there's a conversation going on, and I want to add to this conversation. I close by again, trying to flatter the journal a little bit. To say that I appreciate the opportunity to have my work reviewed in the journal, saying that, calling the debates and conversations rich, right? And then I have the suggestions for the review team, which obviously I deleted because, this paper is still under review, okay? At the end, I just put a little list of the papers that I referenced here so that I don't force the editor to go back and see, what are this, what's the Roy Ver and al. Piece all about. So I just put everything here with their first publication date so that it's easy to find, okay? So this basically just, I think, looks professional, looks like I'm excited to publish in the journal, and basically places my work not in the context of the literature in general, but in the context of the literature published by this journal in a variety of topics. If I was an editor, I would really like a letter like this, and obviously that's why I write it. So people work like super hard as reviewers and editors. I think this just helps them do their job better, but also shows a little bit of consideration that we're sort of in the same team, and that you are thankful for their work. Okay? So I hope this was helpful. A little short video today, and I'll catch everybody tomorrow. Thanks so much. Have a good one.